For me, I think painting in festivals and murals in general is my favorite type of art because you combine the direct communication with other artists, with the people that see your work. Yeah, festival do this magic thing. They connect artists from different backgrounds, countries in one place for the same reason, and you create friendships, you create connections, learn so much. Yeah, I like also being here and doing my own stuff. I think for me, at least, to keep evolving as an artist, it's very important to get connected with other people.
Welcome to Color Me Crazy, another podcast with you guys, interviewing creators from all around the world. I'm your host, Akai, a multidisciplinary artist. And today we have Gera, a visual artist based in Athens, Greece. His work is an intriguing exploration of the glitch art aesthetic. His work spans murals, large-scale compositions, and experimental in canvases, and has been featured at major festivals and exhibitions across the globe. How are you, Jenna? Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, I'm glad to be here. It's all good. I'm here in my studio, as you can see, in Athens, and yeah, I'm very happy that I'm on the board for this podcast.
Nice. That's amazing that you're in Athens. And tell us a little bit about your journey. I saw that you studied fine arts. How was your journey? And I also saw that you did some graffiti before. Um, how was this transition to making this like glitching type of art? Could you tell us a little bit about how did it become? Because you use a very specific color palettes, very
Mhm.
bright. Yeah, how was this journey with you?
Yeah, so I started by doing graffiti, just writing my name, and then when it was the time to, see what I'm going to do with my future, university and stuff, I learned about the School of Fine Arts. And I think it is still the only university you can go, and you need only drawing and painting exams. You don't need to write history or. Um, so yeah, I started to get into that, got in the School of Fine Arts, and from that point, I learned about printmaking. And when I learned about printmaking, is the time that slowly the idea of bleaching an image or using this palette came in my mind, and I started to do it. First, the printmaking and painting, and afterwards trying also to the walls.
Nice. That's super interesting. Yeah, because your images are very, it's using the human figure, but it's very like distortion, like a dream or something like that. I don't know, like a memory kind of, but it's super interesting. And how, what were some of the early challenges you faced when transitioning from street art to more like formalized gallery exhibition?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, you have a stamp when you do graffiti. It's like, okay, he's a graffiti artist. He's using spray. I saw some people when they go to the fine arts, they separate the fine arts from the graffiti. But for me, I couldn't do that. I'm one person, one mind. Even if I'm on the wall, and if I'm in prints or canvas and stuff. Yeah, I could say that in my situation, this came softly in terms of I was doing graffiti, then started to do characters, then moved those characters to canvas, then exploring printmaking or other techniques of painting, like using acrylic, oil, pastel. It's not so easy to be with one leg in the graffiti street art walk and with the other leg on the fine arts university and stuff, but I try to have a balance between them, and I think it works. I hope it will work also in the future as well.
Uh, Talking a little bit about murals, what challenges have you managed on massive scale? Because it's not the same, you know. I mean, the weather, the sun. I mean, Athens is super hot, isn't it?
Yeah, not all the time of the year, but
Yeah.
yeah, from now, which is mid of May and mid of September, yeah, it can be really hot, like almost 40 degrees. I guess like Mexico.
Yeah.
Of course, at the beginning is very challenging. This also started softly. For example, did a lot of walls on 2, 3 meters, like classic wall like this one. And
Mm-hmm.
then I started doing with a bigger ladder or with a stick, like from 3 meters to 4 to 5. And that happened also quite softly, the transition from small or medium to huge. I think the tallest I've ever done, it's 45 meters, 15 floors. Um, for me, it really helped me when I learned about the doodle grid. That was a game changer because I understood that at the end it doesn't really matter because it's all forms and you can scale it. Like you can have it on a paper or on your phone and scale it
Mm-hmm.
as big as you want. But I believe that the main difference between canvas and walls is that on walls you need sometimes to think a little bit like creating a poster. You need to think that this wall should be visible from, the other side of the street or from so far away. So sometimes you need to prepare your sketch in order to be visible from so far away, which is something that on canvas you don't need too much. So yeah, weather it can be tricky. Sometimes you can have a lot of sun, sometimes rain, sometimes it can be windy, which also can be dangerous when you are on a lift on 30 meters. But it's something that you're getting used to it and you have to deal with it. Last mural I painted in Glasgow, I think it took me 8 days, and I think 5 days it was rainy.
Wow.
You can use the right tools. For example, if you paint with spray, and if it's rainy, not a lot, but a medium amount of rain, you can continue paint.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
something that you're learning to deal with, and yeah, it's part of the game.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I feel like being a muralist, it's very physical work and it's very demanding on your body. Like, how do you
Mm,
manage um I don't know, because like your arm needs to be like this, like, you know, like all the time. Like, I feel like physically you get dehydrated. You don't drink a lot of water because you don't want to go to the bathroom, because you don't want to stop painting because you're like up there. It's a whole situation. The mural is just consuming totally. But how do you manage, or what have you learned on your journey painting these massive walls? Fueling your body and really like taking good care of it, you know, while you're painting.
yeah, so I think it sounds obvious. Yeah, it's a very physical work. That's why I'm doing gym also, at least like 3 times per week. To have the body strong, especially for the back. For me, it's very hard sometimes because even if you're in a cherry picker, you have to go down and up, take materials and carry them and blah blah blah. Um, yeah, I think murals needs very good. You need to be prepared. You need to be prepared to eat good, to sleep good, to be healthy, to feel strong. Because it's very exhausting, right? Most of the times you have a timeline. You need to finish in 10 days, maximum, sometimes 5 days, sometimes 7 days, depends on the
Yeah.
project. So you don't have all the time to do whatever you want. So you need to be very prepared. You need to be very well organized with the materials. You need to know what are you doing to not lose time. For me, I understood that in murals, it's important to do every step in the right way. Yeah, so about this is, I think, yeah, and I always have some snacks on the lift, and water, of course, a lot of water is important. Good music also is important for me. It gives me a lot of motivations in the times that I feel very exhausted and I see the wall and it's so huge.
Yeah.
An extra boost in order
Yeah.
to hit this. But yeah, I think after you do it and you do it, you get more easy with it. For me, the hardest is with scaffold. I think this is really hard work, painting murals with scaffold because you have to do everything manually.
Yeah.
Um, Otherwise, yeah, I think that's uh, that's what I try to have, and what I try to prepare before to paint the murals to have a good workflow, no matter what will happen.
Yeah, of course. What has been your craziest, like you said, like it was raining like 5 days of the mural, but
Mm,
what has been a mural that was like so challenging? Like, I don't know, like what happened? Like the paint didn't arrive. I don't know.
yeah, to be honest, every mural behind it has a story like that or something similar. But one very challenging that I can remember right now, I think it was this one I painted in Georgia. It was 45 meters, 15 stores. In this mural, I started very good, very fast. A great assistant, Nanina. She's a very good artist from Tbilisi. Shout out to Nanina. Um, and after 5 days, got the food poisoning. So I
Mm,
got sick, and I stopped working for 2 days, I think. But that also stops the flow.
yeah.
Like I was 5 days in a row working, it was going very good. Then I get better again. It wasn't something serious. And then my assistant Nanina sick. After that, when I started painting, after I was sick, back on the lift on 30 meters for 3 or 5 hours. Yeah, it was also end of August, so it was hot, as you can understand. But yeah, even with those situations, managed to finish the wall in 13 days. Thanks to the organization and thanks to Nanina, which has
Yeah.
been very helpful. And it's not only the extra hands that you need when you paint the wall, it's also psychological. You don't feel like you are alone in front of that beast. Yeah, I would say this one, it's the more intense, let's say. But, this can happen. And
Yeah. And
you
do
just have
you
to continue.
yeah. And do you usually paint with one second hand, or is there's other murals that there is more people helping you?
No, no, only one assistant is enough. Sometimes I paint also solo because with my style is not so easy always
Yeah.
to help me. But in the murals like this one, which was very huge, the shapes and the forms of the artwork, you need to feel a lot with the rollers. Yeah, but no, just one I think is enough for now for me.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Your art is also known for, these vibrant colors and contrast. Is there like a meaning behind it? Emotions?
Mm.
Is it something from Athens, maybe?
Um, Interesting question because in Athens, I guess have you seen Acropolis, the
Mhm.
Parthenon, and all the sculptures and the temples we have, it's white or gray.
Yeah.
But they say that ancient Greeks used to put a lot of colors. That with the years the color disappear.
Hmm.
So from Greece, I don't know because yeah, you get a lot that white sculpture. and temples, so you don't see so much color, and we don't have so much history to pop art. But for me, I think those colors, it's hard to say exactly. I remember the first time when I saw that happened, it was in printmaking exhibition in the School of Fine Arts here in Athens when I was a student in the high school. I got really fascinated when I saw that, you put the magenta in the yellow, and when you have transparency, you have the more red or more orange. The same happens with cyan and magenta, you get the purple. And all of this situation with the layering, not covering the transparency of the colors, it's something that I feel very. Anyway, I feel very nice when I see it. I feel something like, okay, this is not the end. There is more and more. So when I take a portrait, it became boring for me to just paint a portrait, and that's it with the background. I wanted to show what it briefs, and also when I take a portrait, let's say very serious, think that I can distort it or move it the way I want gives me the freedom, and it gives me the idea that I'm gonna do it the way I want, even if we know that a human portrait is like that. I was like, no, for me, for example, in the eye, I want another eye, or in the nose, I want the lips, or in the ear, I want another face to came out. So I started play with it, and yeah, it became more interesting for me to paint portraits. Yeah, so this could be a meaning of, I'm still searching of it, it's not a clear answer. Sometimes you do something just because you feel it. Don't know exactly. And then through the years, doing again, you find the answers why I want to do that.
Yeah, of course. Super interesting. Yeah, I feel like artists sometimes just produce and yeah, it's like what you have inside basically and you just take it all out. It's your perspective on like the portrait, the person. That's super interesting. And talking a little bit about Europe's role in your growth. I mean, right now you're in Greece and you're based there, but you have been lived and worked traveled and participate in like all these street art festivals around Europe. How do you think Europe has impacted you in your professional career as an artist compared to I saw you had a solo exhibition in San Francisco. That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing. So
thank you.
cool. But how do you see I don't know, like how Europe, the art world in Europe?
Okay, I get to know much more the art world of Europe than the US because I've been much more into different countries. But in the first scale of question, I think Europe, it helped me a lot to grow, and especially Germany in the beginning, I have to say. Yeah, because they have deep history on it. They have more sources, more projects, more artists, more stuff going on. It's a very nice country. I love it, but we are a small country. And the last few years, we had the economical crisis, stuff like that. So sometimes it's hard to support arts in these situations. Europe, for me, at the beginning, it was a very good escape. Yeah, I feel grateful about all the people I met around Europe, the opportunities they gave me. And it's not only the project, it's also the conversation you do, the ideas you change. You see the other artists working, every artist pretty much works differently. So you can learn stuff from that. Yeah, so this is about Europe and about USA. I went only to San Francisco. I know USA is so huge. Every region is like another country, I think. But yeah, people from USA, they say that San Francisco is the more European USA city, California city in the vibe, maybe. Because yeah, the weather is cool. People go out for skate, graffiti. It's something that I see also here, a lot. They are very close to the sea. They have that type of situation. And yeah, it's an amazing experience. I be able to show my work literally in the other side of the world, have people in the opening and get feedback. It's a bless, of course. Yeah, I painted also.
Did you end up in San Francisco? Like, did you meet a gallerist from San Francisco, or how was the connection?
For me, in general, almost everything I have done since now, it started from social media, and then it goes from getting to know the people who invite you, and then other people and stuff like that. My gallery, which is the name of the gallery in San Francisco, they invited me to take part in a group show in Denver at that time. I took part of that show with 3 canvases. And after that, they invited me to do a solo show in San Francisco. It took me, after the invitation, it took me also 2 years to make it happen. Yes, because they invited me to do it in a stage of my life that I just finished university, looking for a studio. And you take the time to get your studio, start working on some series. What do you want to show? Because when you have a solo exhibition, it means that you invite people to come to see just your works. You need to have I I feel like I need to have a good reason to invite them to come to my show.
Yeah.
So besides that, I'm painting murals, so or do commissions. Yeah, so that's why it took 2 years.
But that's
Yeah,
amazing. When was it? Like this
uh,
a few
two
months
two
ago?
years back. That was
Oh,
2. It was in the June of 2023. Maybe we're working on something also on autumn, but I can't say a lot because it's
yeah,
not something
concrete. Yeah.
guaranteed.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's crazy. I feel like a lot of artists say like, "No, I need to move to New York because there's everything in New York and you meet a lot of people." I feel like the networking, I mean, you just said like you live in Athens and it's a smaller country. Maybe the opportunities that come to you are from social media. I feel like right now you don't have to move to a bigger city to grow as an artist. I'm not 100% sure, but like it feels like you don't because social media is everything now. Like the gallery that found you, I mean, you're in Athens, like how, like it's
Yeah,
quite interesting how it works
yeah,
nowadays.
it's what I said. We are exactly in the other side of the world.
Yeah.
12 hours by airplane. I believe the same, but me too. I'm not 100% to be honest.
Hmm.
Just social media is enough because I don't know, meet people also in real life. We are going to forget how important is also this. Of course, social media, it's very good nowadays because, for example, we're doing this podcast in Mexico. I'm in Athens. We can do it. We can have a connection. We can speak. And yeah, you can apply to projects, to internet. You can so you're working through social media and that can work. But for some people work, for some other don't. So I don't know. For art, as I'm understanding, there is no recipe or a way. Everyone has to find what works better for every situation. Me too. Also, it's not like I'm here and I'm restless. Of course, I wanna go to New York. Of course, I wanna go to London. But yeah, I try to believe the same. Like painters back in the days, they had to go to Paris because at that time the beginning of 20th century. It felt like if you wasn't in Paris, then you couldn't be an artist.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
crazy. Yeah.
yeah, hopefully, yeah, I think now, of course, we're not in this situation. See festivals in small towns, see projects in Europe, Africa, everywhere. There's good projects. But yeah, I don't know. I think that also now things change so fast. For example, algorithm of social media change stuff. So many stuff going on, then that affects everyone. It's not that I never thought about it to move to another town or country that it's more in Central Europe or
Yeah.
something like that. But yeah,
Athens.
for now, Athens. Yeah.
No. I feel like it's also nice to, I mean, you're traveling and doing all these murals in all these places. And it's also nice to come back home and
Mm.
really produce and be like in the studio fully concentrated. I feel like when I was in Berlin, I felt like I couldn't produce as much in the studio because I wanted to go to the opening exhibition. I wanted to meet the people. I wanted to be out there. And I feel like when you have that distant time from the city and from the chaos and all the events, it's just like super nice to like fully focus on your project, on your collection. Or yeah, so it's super interesting how, yeah, like you said, there's no right or wrong for like an artist. Like there's not a recipe. But yeah, that's quite interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so happy like we live in this era of like internet.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. But yeah, I was gonna ask something else. Yeah, talking a little bit about the street art festivals, it seems like they have played a significant role in your professional career, like getting to know other people, being out there, going to these places. For the people that don't know how street art festivals work, could you tell us a little bit about the applications? Do you get paid? How many days they usually are? And yeah, could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. The first festival I ever went abroad, it was Meeting of Styles. For example, Meeting of Styles, it's a very classical graffiti festival, but they also do murals.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, and I think every festival it works different and same at the same time. I mean, you have the graffiti jams, which is more like 3 days maximum, or
Wow.
even a weekend. Yeah. So there it's more like a jam. Then you have the mural festivals. Uh, so they are the festivals they produce big murals, like this in Georgia or in Vienna, Calle Libre or Giulia Urbana in Italy. Yeah, it's a lot. Sorry, what is exactly the question again? What
How
is my
have
experience?
impacted, yeah, your
Ah,
work in
okay.
making these connections, getting to know other artists and stuff,
Yeah.
and grabbing a lot of
Um,
experience, I guess.
yeah, really important. Yeah, for me, important because I get to meet so many people that I used to see their works from social media. Yeah, when you see someone when you are young from the screen of your phone, and of course, appreciate the work and stuff like that. And then after years, paint next to him or her. You feel great. You feel that you're going in the right way. Also, you see how they work, the professionalism, the conversation. Also, it's very important. You can do with other artists. For me, I think painting in festivals and murals in general is my favorite type of art because you combine the direct communication with other artists, with the people that see your work. Yeah, festival do this magic thing. They connect artists from different backgrounds, countries in one place for the same reason, and you create friendships, you create connections, you learn so much. Yeah, I like also being here and doing my own stuff. I think for me, at least, to keep evolving as an artist, it's very important to get connected with other people, see how they work and stuff like that. So yeah, I will say that festivals, it's very nice experiences. It can be exhausting and stressful sometimes. Yes, because sometimes you have a very certain amount of time to work abroad. A lot of things can happen, but at the end, for me, since now it's very worth most of them. And yeah, I want to keep doing that for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you work mostly with spray paint in massive murals
Yeah,
also? Me too.
in Massive, I use acrylic paint too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's impossible and it costs a lot to do on with spray.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I tried also spray gun,
Mm,
which also can be very helpful for very big surfaces and for uh, degradé color transition and stuff like that.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's amazing. That's awesome. Ah, I was gonna ask something. Oh yeah, how did you end up doing murals? You know, because you were in fine arts. I mean, I guess I also study fine arts, and it's very like very squared, I feel like.
Mm,
And we didn't even see like murals, you know, we didn't even see like street art or in my university. But how did you end up from like fine arts to like murals? What was your, I mean, you said you were like tagging your name and stuff, but what is the, why do you get attracted by working in the public space? Because I feel like muralists have a massive voice. Like you said, it's like a massive poster, and you really
mm,
need to think of what you want to represent, and it's going to be there for a while.
yeah,
And it's just a massive, like, I don't
exposure.
know, like, yeah, like it's a massive voice in the street.
Yeah. By the way, it's interesting you said that in your School of Fine Arts you didn't get to learn about murals because Mexico have a very big history of that, right?
Yeah,
Of muralism.
it's
Uh,
crazy.
yeah. Anyway, so I just had just started by graffiti tags and stuff. The good thing about Athens is that if you come in the city center, basically, you see a lot of big murals. And I remember since I was a kid or teenager, going to the city, I was looking the murals and I was like, wow. The big scale, it was always a challenge for me. And I was like, I know that one day I'm gonna do that. Because I had so many questions that I wanted to learn and do this. Of course, in university, most of the professors, some professors, they was like, no, this is not art. Art is something that you do in the studio. It takes time. You just go in a wall 3 days, do something, stuff like that. Or they was like, you paint walls. Okay, so what? Some professors they couldn't get it. Some others they could get it in the fine arts, but they didn't care a lot because we was already in the era of Facebook and early Instagram that time. Not yeah. I could see that it's happening. I could see artists from Europe and all around the world that they was doing it already so many years. And I
Yeah.
think in Greece that started really strong after 2010. I could see that, it's something that it's contemporary, it's happening right now. I wanted to do it, so, none of the professors or the university could stop me or I never felt that, okay, maybe this is not worth, maybe I just do only canvas or prints because when you want to do something and you feel it, no one can really stop you, even if it's Da Vinci or Picasso. I don't know. um,
Yeah, yeah, of
so
course.
yeah, this is how I became to murals. Yeah, like from graffiti character, then bigger characters, and slowly into the mural art.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how was it like blah, blah, blah. Was there a time in your art career that was really challenging? I mean, you said you graduated from fine arts and straight away you were like with these festivals and stuff. But was there a time in your art career that it was like, I don't know if I want to do this? Or I feel like it's also, I mean, being a freelancer and an artist is a very challenging thing. It's not constant money or like
Mm,
it's very, you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, like how was this journey for you at the beginning or right now?
um,
Yeah.
so at the beginning, started to get commissions when I was studying. So when I graduate, I had already painted in festivals and doing commissions.
Yeah.
So when I got graduated, that wasn't a question for me. I was like, okay, I have those festivals. I have a proposal for a solo exhibition, so let's go full on. Yeah, I rent my studio, etc. From September till now, I could say that is one of the most challenging phases that I have since I started. I feel like what we do as artists, uh, it's almost impossible to not to be a straight line or just up. You have periods like that. Sometimes it's also good
Yeah.
because festivals are nice, massive murals amazing, exhibitions amazing. If you produce all the time, maybe you don't experiment.
Yeah.
I don't think, and I don't want to just produce, you know. I want to evolve. I want to try different mediums, to try different stuff. So even when I don't have a lot of work and it can be stressful in terms of, uh, titles and stuff like that, I know that it's important for my journey to try other stuff, or stay in the studio, and yeah, working in different stuff. For example, I'm working on linocut.
What is it? Lino?
Linocut is like a woodcut.
Okay, yeah.
It's a printmaking technique. And the last one I did, it was 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I don't know, on and off. It can be on all the time, of course, not off all the time because
Yeah.
that there you go in more deep direction.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I
I feel
think
like also,
no, I think as artists, uh, you have also these periods. The thing is what you do when that comes and how you see it as an opportunity.
yeah, totally. It's crazy. I feel like, yeah, like as an artist, you have to be mentally really strong and emotionally really strong on these low um parts of life.
Mm,
And I feel like, I mean, on my personal journey, most of my friends, most of them are not freelancers, group of friends, and I'm the only one freelancer. And I was the other day thinking, like, I guess, it's okay to just think like, oh, like I'm not gonna compare myself with their journey, with their stable job or whatever, because it's my own journey. I feel like also like as an artist, it's a fucking marathon. You never know when it's like how long is it gonna be. I feel like as an artist, the marathon, and the artists that win is the ones that like
mm.
really grind on to really be there, on the lows and the highs, and it's just crazy. It's crazy, the artistic journey.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
artistic.
you never know. You can, I mean, some artists, I see that, or it looks, because that's the thing on social media. You see someone's life through social media, you never know what it's
Yeah,
through, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
some artists, they seem to constantly producing, and yeah, some others, they have on and off, and Yeah, I don't know. Everyone's life is different, but this is why I try to do what I try to do to handle this.
Yeah. And talking a little bit about social media, how has it impacted you personally, having a bigger account, having like all these eyes on you, and how did it grow? Like how did it grow slow? I mean, how was it the snowball effect on social media?
Pulse helps a lot to grow in social media. I remember one time I was painting in a festival in Paris, in La Défense. It was crazy for me how many people came and tag you on social media and take photos and videos and stuff like that. I think also with big murals, when I started to do the big murals, uh, people really liked it. Not all of them, but some of them, of course, and they started to repost and comment and stuff like that. But if you check my account, it's sometimes a big difference when I post a mural and the canvas. The impressions. So
Whoa.
yes, yes,
Or when we see you or just the piece also. When the artist
yes,
appears on the photo with the piece and when it's just the piece. It's crazy. Like we
yeah.
connect.
I don't really do that. I basically my work, but yeah, social media it's very tricky and changes all the time. It's based on an algorithm that it's on some other people hands.
Yeah.
It's That's why I'm going now to rebuild my website and invest also to this. Because yeah, Instagram is there, but you never know what will happen.
Yeah.
And as I said, it's very good for connections and see other people work. But sometimes you need to think, okay, it's just an app. And
Yeah.
also dislikes it means something, but also not. It's just an image. If you like an artist, if you like an artwork, it doesn't really matter. 100 on 1,000 likes. This is
Yeah.
the truth. If Van Gogh had Instagram nowadays, he'll be with 1,000 followers, maybe, or less.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Who
That's
knows?
crazy. That's crazy. Returning to the murals a little, when people look at your murals, what kind of like legacy or impact you would like to them to take away, from your work?
I think, yeah, the first is what can a black and white photo or just a photo could look with this technique in a massive wall. I like when people see on my murals and they discover things as long as they looking with the smaller faces, distorted faces. Um, of course, was always looking on, and this comes from graffiti a little bit. Make it fabulous, let's say, in the way that you can't take your eyes. It's so big, so colorful, so big contrast. It's like it dominates the building and your view. A lot of times I try to spread the message also through that. For example, have an area near here, we call it Nea Philadelphia because it was an area of refugees, and we did the mural there. It is a dad with his child, and yeah, I wanted to uh, embrace the memory of the people in a contemporary way. And vibrant color doesn't mean a happy picture. This is the tricky thing in my situation. I remember when I graduated from the School of Fine Arts, one professor came to me and said, I see that you paint sad people with colorful, with happy color.
Yeah.
Because when you see a lot of color, you feel nice. It's not black and white, it's not so dark.
Yeah.
The truth is that in a lot of portraits, what motivates me to paint them is that they are sad or they was in a bad situation or they feel disappear. This is the emotions that most of the times I want to spread through my artwork and my murals, and not just happy images ready to consume. I want people to make think, why
Yeah.
why I choose this, why this color. I think this is also what art should do. If that happens to the viewer, it means that I did a good job, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's super interesting. I feel like, yeah, I really liked it. Yeah,
Thank
thank you. Thank you for sharing. And I had another question. You were saying about oh yeah, about the future. What
the
do you have?
future.
Yeah, the plans. What are your dreams, as an artist? And I mean, right now you're in Athens, but do you plan to move in the future? We talked a little bit about that, but for like future dreams about projects like painting maybe in Latin America, or I don't know, making some exhibitions in Asia or over here in Latin America. What plans do you have?
Latin America for sure. I really want to visit Latin America. I have a lot of friends also from Argentina, a few from Brazil, Mexico, and it's nice because friends that came from Brazil or Argentina to Athens, they say to me that they felt like home
Wow.
because Athens, it's not like other European. Uh, anyway, about the future. About the future, I really want to keep evolving and keep growing as an artist in many ways. I'm in a phase right now that I'm experimenting with techniques, with designs, with colors, with mediums, with everything. Because for me, like I did the first step to introduce myself to with an exhibition, some murals, with whatever I've done so far. Now is the hardest part to continue doing stuff better and better, and every time setting a new goal. I feel very hungry, for murals, for exhibitions, traveling, for art in general. I hope that I will be able to meet people, ideas. I want to do more stuff like design clothes or print, which is something that I feel I don't, I did very few.
Yeah.
Till now, I'm really focused on creating studio work or murals. So that's another thing. Yeah, be healthy, be creative, and the best will come.
Yeah, definitely. That's so nice. Before to wrap up, the podcast, I always ask this question to the people that I'm interviewing. I feel like this question really gives a different perspective on the person, and it speaks a lot from their personality and the persona that they are. So the question is, what's something you couldn't live without for long? We are talking about art. Of course, it'd be something outside art in your daily day.
Something like
It could be anything like an activity or um I don't know. It could be anything.
okay, something that I couldn't leave.
Live without. Yeah. For long.
Speak about an object or not, or
No. Maybe just no objects. No
about
coffee.
no coffee because I thought about coffee.
No. Everybody says coffee. No. Something, I don't know. For
Okay.
me, for example, is like sunsets, and surfing.
Okay. Sunset and surfing. Yeah. Something that I couldn't live with. Yeah, it's a hard question. In terms of that, like you said, sunset, I thought about sun in the way that in Greece we are very lucky of that. I guess the same in
Yeah.
Mexico, like it's very sunny almost all the time of the year. And when I go to North countries like Germany, Scotland, and stuff, I understand how important is sun for me. Wake up every day, open my window, and see the sun. It gives you energy and motivation to do whatever. So yeah, and then I think people, like my family, stuff like that, it's also that make all of that more, makes all of that to makes more sense. Because what is art with no people? I mean, it's nothing. I don't want to do art for art. I do art for people, of course, for me also, first of all, but yeah, I
Like
want
the
to
connection
be
with
the connection, yeah, and to
Yeah.
share it, to share it with someone, to get a feedback. It doesn't matter if it's gonna be good or bad, but I
Yeah.
think that's what the interesting part of art, like to make people feel something or
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like
even
the
be angry, Yeah, yeah, I will be angry. And I say that first of all for my people, my closest people, my family, my friends, my girlfriend stuff. And then of course for everyone, for the people who see my work through social media, for the people who see my work in the streets. I get sometimes messages that I saw this in a bad day and it really made my day. And that's, I think, the way of the colorful because Athens, it's a very chaotic city, and most of the buildings are ochra or soft brown or gray and stuff. I don't have nothing against black and white art or this kind of color, but I think this color is so digital and fluent with big contrast. It's something very different from the buildings. So once you put the artwork there, it's like boom.
Yeah.
It's a very huge the contrast to the other buildings, and it's something that I think people don't expect because people they get so much used to see gray and brown and very uh yeah,
Like
very very soft
monocolored.
color, very pale. So I try to wake them up. Because we have those colors in the nature. If you go for a walk in the nature, you see the flowers. It's so colorful. The sun, the sky. It's in the nature. It's not fake. But slowly we forgot about it because everything is just road, building, and cars, and in the modern cities that we live
Yeah.
in, and you
Yeah.
forgot about
That's
the
true.
color. I don't know. Also, me, it makes me feel alive. Yeah, and I hope the same for other people that they see it.
Yeah. That's so beautiful. I loved it. That's super nice.
I think in
And
Mexico is the same, right?
yeah.
In the murals and in the culture, there is a lot of color.
Yeah.
Also in Latin America, Colombia.
Yeah. Definitely. I think it's part of the culture.
Yeah,
The sunny countries, I feel like
yeah,
have so much color. It's interesting that you mentioned the sun because I feel like, yeah, it truly affects your humor. And
yeah.
when you don't even realize it until you leave your country that it's sunny the whole time. And then you realize you truly need it.
Because you lived also in Berlin, so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
It's super interesting. Yeah. How
The,
the
the
sun
thing
really
about Greece, even we are a sunny country, when it comes to art, we are not, I think, so used to those kind of colors because we never had a strong pop art movement. We had a lot of, painters that paint classic portraits or they
Mhm.
paint rock and sea, which is colorful, but maybe more brown and blue.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes some people love it, but for some other occasion, it's very hard. For example, if you want to paint with my style, if I want to paint a mural to a school, they just don't get it. They are like, no, this magenta, for example, is not for the school. It's very modern. They have that idea that in some places like school or university or people, stuff needs to be more classical. And in classic way of Greece, there is not so much color. You see
Yeah.
also the classical. Of course, there are a few artists that they was using a lot of colors, but in general, you don't see it so much.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's super interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. I feel like
Of course, my
um
pleasure.
yeah, like having a conversation between muralists and I don't know, sharing, Europe and your experiences and with the listeners, of course. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Before we say goodbye, is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners?
Not something specific. Listening to the podcast, they can write in the comments, I think, which other artists they would like to see here to talk about
Yeah,
their art. Yeah, I hope you found this episode interesting. I hope that I answer some questions also that people have about my work or about how that works with festivals and stuff. Yeah, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, I'm still thirsty, as I
nice.
said. Yeah, you will see more in the streets and in the galleries from me.
Yeah, that's amazing. I can't wait. Can't wait to see your work. And
I
if you're
hope
ever,
also to Mexico and
yes, if you're ever around Latino America, hit me up.
for
Definitely. Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching. To our listeners, if you like this episode, be sure to share it with a friend. And we're gonna leave in the description the social media of Gera, and so you can follow his journey and check out his work and connect with him. And that's it for today. Oh, thank you so much for watching, guys, and thank you, Jeda, again, for your time and for sharing your personal journey as an artist.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for having me and have a nice day or
Yes.
night whenever you are.